Hello, hello. This is Jason Perno, and I'm going to show you a little bit about how to customize your Roland SPD 1 wave pad by adding multi-layered samples, velocity layered samples. So it's a little bit different than the videos that I've seen on YouTube where you're combining different sounds. In this case, we're actually combining different velocities of certain samples. So I've loaded up a Superior drummer kit in Pro Tools, and I'm going to show you a really, really fast way to customize and create your own multi-velocity layered samples. And then you can load up each of these samples into one of the 12 spaces in the SPD1 wave pad. So the first thing I want you to notice is if you look at the velocity here, I have 24 different triggers going, and if I click on one and then the other, you'll see that the sound progressively gets louder until you're all the way up here, and this is the loudest. Now, this is for demonstration purposes only. Obviously, I don't know exactly where the Superior drummer breaks up. I believe they have 19 separate samples for each instrument, so 19 different layers of sound. But some of the libraries that I'm using have up to 24 layers for each sound. So I've just made a standard 24, and I started out here around 81, I believe, is my velocity, my starting velocity, and I go all the way up to 127. So that means that I'm probably going to get some repeats, but that's okay because there's round robin, which means that if it triggers a second time, it's probably going to get a different sample anyway. So basically what I do is I will highlight this selection, and then I will commit my track, and I will put it on to the edit selection, and then I will have it on insert after last selected track, do nothing, and then I'm just gonna play through these, and you can see it takes 48 seconds, something like that. Alright, once the track has been committed, you can see here that it's actually, you can see the smallest samples and then going up to the loudest samples. So what I do here then is I use the Audio Suite plugin for Normalize, and I set it to peak and render it to so that the loudest noise is going to 0 decibels. So now you see that everything is much louder. And now I'm going to use the Strip Silence plugin. This is how I'm going to break up the each sample. And you just have to play around with this until you get all of them highlighted. I keep the start pad at 0, the end pad, yeah, just like that. And oh, one important thing, and I'm going to explain this to you, why I'm doing this. Name the file itself to 1, and then when I hit strip silence, you're going to see here now it's 101, 103, 105, 107, and so on and so forth. Now the reason I've done that is because if you actually go into these master file, you'll see there's an advanced text file that needs to be edited in order to, and has to be done properly in order to trigger these samples. Now, since I have 24 samples that I'm going to put in there, I've edited this, and let me just zoom in so that you can see better. Okay, you have the settings set to 1 for enable, and I have the default volume here at 90. I just copy pasted, and then now when I export these, they're all going to have these names: 101 wave, 103 wave, 105 wave, and so on, going all the way down to 146 wave. You also have to rename these. This is wave A, wave B, wave C. But you only need to do this once, because then you can copy this file into each and every Roland folder. And then when you export the next set, it'll work the same exact way. So I put this at layer type 5, and you can see here type 5 is velocity fade. And you can see here with the fade points, this is triggering. This is under the layer type. It's saying when, at what velocity you're going to be triggering which sample. So I've done it in fives. So I put 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on, all the way up until 120. And then you change this to A, B, B, C, C, D. It has to be in this format. And this here is just a description to explain how everything's done. So now it's set up exactly the way that it needs to be. So that now when I click on my clips, I can go export clip files. Now this has to be at 16-bit. Remember that. If you do it at 24, it doesn't work with the SPD1. So then you go to your Roland folder. Now I have a 13th folder just to show you how it works. And click export. And then you'll see those files are nice and neatly in the 13th folder. And they're all named properly. And then basically when you want to do the same for the next sample, you just delete your track. Select all these tracks here and clear. Move to trash. And then you load up another sample. So in this case, let's say I wanted to put up another. I like this sound here, this Aussie rock. It has a nice kick sound. It sounds really good. Same process. I'm going to highlight this, and then I'm going to commit. Keep the same settings as before. And again, I've got another fully committed track. And then you can see here, I'm going to just rinse and repeat. So I'm going to render this. And then I'm going to use strip silence. Everything looks pretty good here. Oh, again, name this to 1. Oops. And then I'm going to strip silence. And then I have a new batch of velocity layered samples ready to be exported into the next folder. Well, that's about it, folks. It's pretty simple once you figure out how to do it. And you can just simply rinse and repeat, and before you know it, you've got a full multi-velocity layered sample library ready to go. And I won't delay anymore. Just take a listen to some of the samples, and I'll leave you with that. Thanks a lot. See you next time.